Hi, how are you? Today is the 29th of October. Anyway, I noticed that some people did leave comments, and one person left a comment saying, "Oh, Armond Carion was the best person. He was nothing but great to me." Well, good for you, woman. It's not the same for everybody. Glad you had a great experience. Doesn't mean everybody did. So, if you're happy with him, then good. But I did not have a good experience, so that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, there was another comment saying, let me think, I should write down the comments. That I'm mad at my children. That couldn't be further from the truth. I am not mad at my children. Why in God's earth would I be mad with my kids? I'm mad with the system. I'm mad with the way the courts handle custody in New Mexico. And from my experience, I'm only talking about my experience. It was disgusting. Armond Carion is disgusting, and so is Stephen Klump. They're both disgusting. What they did to me, they did to my children. They deprived my children of a beautiful relationship. They never saw me with my kids. They've never seen me with my kids. So they're making judgments based on a therapist, John Jack Schooley, that's never met me, that is a friend of Samuel Baca. I did not have a good experience. I had a horrible, horrible experience with the New Mexico Family Court. They didn't give a crap. They didn't care at all. And you think that it's just men that get hurt by the New Mexico, by the custody, by the family court? No, it's not just men, it's women too. I had a horrible experience. But you know what? If I had if I had plenty of money to hire a corrupt therapist or a corrupt attorney like him, I would not be in the situation. It's all about who you hire as an attorney. And attorneys don't care about you. They care about draining your wallet. That's what they care about. I had a horrible experience. Absolutely horrible. The way I was treated by the New Mexico Family Court is nothing short of disgusting. And you know what? Armond Carion had the nerve to say that I got everything. Or that I was, what did he say? I wanted everything in my terms. Armond Carion, what did I get in my terms? What did I get in my terms? I got nothing. Paul Brian Baca is the one that got everything in his terms. He destroyed my visits in Rio Rancho, absolutely destroyed them, and then got rewarded for destroying them. And you have the nerve to say I got everything in my terms. I didn't get anything in my terms. It's been 10 years of fighting for my children. 10 years. And these people saying, "Oh, I had a great time," like, "Oh, Armond Carion was nothing but good to me." Good for you, woman. He was not good to me. You can't make your experience my experience. He was not good to me. He was a horrible person. When I went to the court, he acted like he cared. I thought he was going to be a fair person, but then he was nothing but fair. If people really care and they want to know the truth, they can go read the motions. They're speaking about something they've no clue about. They've never read the motions. They don't know my relationship with my children. And they're just speaking out of their butts. I did not have a good experience with Armond Carion. I had a horrible experience. What he did to me was disgusting. And what Stephen Klump did is even more disgusting. Telling me I could see my children in Rio Rancho and then taking everything away like it didn't even matter. Yes, I'm hurt. I've lost 10 years of my children. I used to take pictures of my kids all the time. All the time I used to take pictures. I have no pictures in the last 10 years. How can a court deprive children of a mother? What did they do wrong? What did my kids do to deserve to grow up with a narcissist? Paul Brian Baca, Samuel Baca, and Virginie Schulte Toki. Those people are horrible. Absolutely horrible. I did not give birth to 3 children for them to rob me of my kids. Yes, I'm hurt. I'm extremely hurt. But, that's the way the New Mexico family court is. They don't care. They tear families apart all the time. I have so much heart. And I'm making these videos because I want to speak about my experience. If there's other people out there who's had a similar experience, those are the people I want to hear from. Not people like that woman that went and said she had a great experience because she probably got everything she wanted. And then the other person that probably never read or any of my motions or nothing, to say that I was blaming my kids. I would never blame my children. I have never blamed my kids. So don't dare say to me that I'm blaming my kids. I have never blamed my kids. My kids were 6, 7, and 9 when all this happened. 6, 7, and 9. And the family court is telling my children that they can, not even telling my children, but putting it in the motion that my kids can reach out to me whenever they want. Who's telling my children that they can reach out to me? John Jack Schooley, why was he the children's therapist? He wasn't court appointed. He's a friend of Samuel Baca. He went to school with them. Isn't that a violation? What do they call it? A conflict of interest? There was no guardian ad litem because apparently Stephen Klump and Armond Carion do not believe in guardian ad litem. And then Stephen Klump wanted me to do an evaluation, but he never provided one. He told me for 4 years that I had to do an evaluation, but never once provided one. And then he never, or Paul Brian Baca didn't have to do shit. All he did is follow his father's instructions. He's a true narcissist. That entire family are true narcissists. And if you know them, they're fake. They're not good people. What they did was steal my children. Steal Connor, Caden, and Colin. And turn my children against me. And they've done that for the last 10 years. I loved my kids. I still love my kids. But I can't get back what I lost. I couldn't even go to the school. I couldn't go to the parent-teacher meetings. I don't know anything about their medical because I was never told anything. They completely erased me from my children's life. Completely erased it. And then everybody went on about their lives like I didn't matter. And it's so hard. It's been so hard. Connor, Caden, and Colin will not talk to me. They don't want to give up all the money and the gifts. And I'm hurt. I'm 100% hurt. You try growing up without your children. You don't know how it feels. God forbid if my kids ever got in an accident or anything. I was never told about it. Caden used to sleepwalk. I'm hurt. I'm so hurt. And these people telling me, that they had good experiences, well, good for you. It was not my experience. I had a horrible experience with Armond Carion and Stephen Klump. They should not be in the position they're in. They tear families apart. There was no guardian ad litem. None. We were supposed to do all faiths. Paul Brian Baca didn't want to do all faiths. He pulled Connor from Chloe when Connor told Chloe that Paul Brian Baca was hitting him. Then he pulled Connor from All Faiths in Albuquerque, and then told the court something completely different. He got into a fight with Lisa in Rio Rancho at Children's Services. He got into a fight with Lisa. Everything he did, he got rewarded for. Everything. I don't know what to do because it's turned my world upside down. I had 3 children. I gave birth to 3 kids and I had them torn from me. All those memories, I don't have any. I have 10 years of nothing because that was all torn from me. Connor, Caden, and Colin, if you give a damn about your mother, call me, reach out to me. Stop using Samuel Baca's phone. He's only doing that so he can monitor you. Reach out to me. I am your mother. Have respect. You don't know what happened in court because they never interviewed you. They never talked to you. Stephen Klump and Armond Carion did not care. It was completely one-sided right from the beginning. I lost 99% of the motions. Paul Brian Baca had a corrupt lawyer, Edmund Perea, totally corrupt. Lies about everything. Told the court my children didn't want to see me. Hired or took my kids to see John Jack Scully. He wasn't even court appointed. Does anyone out there give a damn? Does anyone care? Does anybody give a damn? I mean, this is happening all the time in the New Mexico family court. They disregard the parental relationship, the mother-child relationship, and they toss you away like you're nothing. Connor, Caden, and Colin, I need you to speak up. Stop being scared. I need you to speak up. How is Jalen Garcia teaching you or treating you? How is she treating you? Who went to your parent-teacher meetings? Can you please talk to me? Stop using Samuel Baca's phone so that he can monitor everything. Stop doing that. You don't know the story because you've never talked to me. You've never reached out to me. You've only listened to one side. And you don't want to give up all the material gifts that they give you. All the things that the birthday parties, the Chuck E. Cheese, the trips to Disney. How many vacations have you had in the last 10 years? You've had everything given to you. And that's what you associate with love. That's not love. You know, material things are not love. I don't know what to do to you to get you to reach out to me. I am exhausted. You know, I tried everything. I wish you cared. I wish you cared like a 1%. You don't care at all. You take my money. He doesn't even have to say what he spends the money on. He doesn't even pay for the children's phone. Paul Brian Baca, he has his father paying for everything. Paying for all the trips to Disney. Paying for all the meals out. Paying for all the times they go to the movies. Paying for everything. As long as the children don't talk to me. It's sickening. Absolutely sickening. I've had no support. None whatsoever. I keep making videos. Nobody cares. It's like no one gives a damn. I don't know what to do. Connor, Caden, and Colin, if you give a damn about your mother, talk to me. Reach out to me. Listen to both sides of the stories. Of the story. He wants you to be scared. Paul Brian Baca wants you to be scared. That's how he controls you. He wants you to be scared. He wants you to know one side of the story. What he's trying to do is erase you from my life. From your life. Make you think that you don't have a mother. You have a mother. You have a mother that loves and cares about you. That the court tore away from you. Stephen Klump and Armond Carion and Deborah Ramirez, they tear families apart all the time. Don't you want to know the truth? Colin, don't you care about your mom? I know what he's doing. He's trying to erase you. He's trying to make you think you don't have a mother. You have a mother. You have someone that loves you and cares about you, and you don't show me an ounce of respect. You know, you've never reached out to me. You spend Mother's Day with Vera Ginny Schulte and Jalen Garcia. You never reach out to me. Not one person in his family ever reached out and asked me, how you doing, Geraldine? Not one person. It's like out of sight, out of mind. They don't give a shit. They don't care. My heart has been ripped out. I used to take pictures of you boys all the time. I have no pictures for the last 10 years. They're doing everything they can to turn you against your mother. They want you to have no memory of me. He's never told you to talk to your mom. Armond Carion and Stephen Klump saying the children can reach out to you whenever they want. Who's ever told the children that they can reach out to their mother? Connor told me they're telling him the opposite. They're telling him that he's not allowed to talk to his mother. Caden hates me. This is the child that used to hug and kiss his mother all the time. Now he hates me. Caden, I can't fix whatever's been put in your head. Only you can change your present. You know? You can blame me all you want, but if you're going to blame me, at least know the truth. That woman, Jalen Garcia, see how long she lasts. I bet her and Paul Brian Baca fight all the time. I bet they fight all the time. He has his father, Samuel Baca, controlling everything, dictating, telling him what to do. He showed up in all the court hearings, telling him to keep the children away from their mom. What kind of narcissists do that to kids? Those people don't love you, boys. What they're doing is not love. What they're doing is hatred. Stephen Klump is a horrible person, and Armond Carion is a horrible person. And I'm going to vouch and say what they've done. They had no respect for the mother and child relationship. And if they've done this to me, how many other families have they done it to? All I want is a relationship with my children. I want to know who went to their parent-teacher meetings. I want to know what their grades are. I just want to be able to talk to my kids. And Paul Brian Baca in Red Bloom Road, and his father Samuel Baca in Glenwood Hills, Virginie Toki, Schulte, whatever she wants to call herself, they are evil. Those people are pure evil. What they're doing to my children is disgusting. They've spent 10 years trying to raise their mother from my kids' lives. They wouldn't have those grandkids if it wasn't for me. Connor, Caden, and Colin, you have a mother. You have a mother. Stop accepting bribes. All those trips, all those cars, all that money, all at a price, so you don't talk to your mother. I've done everything. What have you done? Connor, Caden, and Colin, what have you done? I'm not blaming you for what happened. I'm blaming because you don't make an effort. You don't reach out. You're brainwashed. Paul Brian Baca, Samuel Baca, and Virginie Schulte Toki are brainwashing you. They're filling your hearts with hatred. That's not what loving people do. You only know one side of the story. You've never reached out to me. You could have used your friend's phone to talk to me. You've never reached out to me. You've never said, hey, Mom, I miss you. I love you. I'd love to talk to you. Never. Not once. I make videos. I write letters. I've done everything, and I get nothing back in return. And yet I still keep fighting for nothing. What they're trying to do, boys, is erase you, make you believe you don't have a mother. They're trying to fill your heart with hate. You need to talk to me. You need to talk to me. Enough is enough. You need to talk. You need to reach out. You're never going to be happy if you don't know the truth. Love is not about how much money a person can spend on you. That has nothing to do with it. He's a horrible person. I know, boys, you're not happy. I know, Caden, Connor, and Colin, you're not happy. I know it. I can see it. But I've done everything, and you need to make an effort. You know, if you don't talk to me, I cannot help you. All I want is a relationship with my sons. If one son reaches out to me, it's better than nothing. I am deeply hurt. Deeply hurt. I've done everything. I've put my life on hold for my children. And I don't get an ounce of respect back. I get nothing. They don't message me. They don't reach out to me. Mother's Day I spend on my own. No one came to my graduation. Connor didn't invite me to his graduation. When my father died, nobody reached out. Not one single one of my children reached out. Boys, are you happy? Are you happy? Is this what you want? To have no relationship with your mother? I'm never going to bribe you with gifts because that's not me. I'm never going to do that. I don't know what to do because I've done everything. And then people are saying, oh, move on with your life. Move on with what life? My children are my life. You don't move on from your kids. You don't do that. You know, it's like no one cares. Like nobody cares. I've missed out on 10 years of my life, of my children's lives. I have no pictures, nothing. I send Paul Brian Baca money all the time. And he spent the last 10 years with his parents telling my children they're not allowed to talk to their mother. And Stephen Klump and Armond Carion supported it. Why do you think you don't see me, boys? Why? What is he telling you? What is he putting in your minds? Do you want to continue to hurt your mother? How much is it going to take? How much pain? Don't you think I have endured enough? You wouldn't be on this earth if it wasn't for me. You wouldn't be on this earth. Why do you think I gave birth to you? Because you think I didn't want you? I wanted you. You don't know the story because you've never reached out to me. You're scared. And that fear shows. I know you're not happy, boys, because you're so confused. You don't know who to believe. And you're afraid to go against your grandparents and the monster you live with, and your evil stepmother, because you're afraid that you're going to miss out. So you prefer to hurt your mother than to give up all those material things. You prefer to hurt your mom. The only thing I blame you for, boys, is not reaching out to your mother. Because you need to stand up and do the right thing. You need courage. I don't know what you've ever told your teachers. What do you tell your friends? Does anybody know my sons, Connor, Caden, and Colin? Because they won't reach out to me. They won't talk to me. Paul Brian Baca from Red Bloom Road in Rio Rancho, he's telling my children they're not allowed to talk to their mother. And Stephen Klump and Armond Carion and Deborah Ramirez supported it. They would not get a guardian ad litem. He refused to do the court clinic. He refused to go, Paul Brian Baca refused to do an evaluation. He refused to go to All Faiths. He wanted everything on his terms. He destroyed my visits in Rio Rancho at the Children's Services. They didn't care. Stephen Klump, Armond Carion, and Deborah Ramirez didn't give a shit. Because they do not care about kids. I have been hurt. My heart has been stamped on. But I've never given up on my children. The only thing I blame my kids for is for not making an effort. Boys, stop using that phone. That phone Samuel Bach is paying for. Stop using it. I gave your father plenty of money to pay for your phone. What is he doing with all the money that I give him? Connor, do you ever read my messages that I write in the back of the checks? Do you ever read them? Yeah, I wanted to write you letters, but I knew Paul Brian Baca was going to throw them all away. What they're trying to do is erase any memory you have of your mother. They want you to grow up with hatred for your mom. And you're allowing it, boys. You're not standing up for what's right. You need to stop being scared. You need to get courage. You need to do what's right. You have a mother. You have a mother that never stopped fighting for you. It's time for you to put in an effort. If anybody knows my sons, Connor, Caden and Colin Baca, that live in Red Bloom Road in Rio Rancho, they have a mother. They have a loving mother. I've done nothing but fight for them. I don't know what they're telling people. Their grandparents and their father has been erasing me from their lives. They're telling everyone I'm a horrible person. They're making my children believe that their mother's a horrible person. Those people are pure evil. They're fake. Virginia Schulte, Tukey, is a fake. She's a fake monster-in-law. What kind of grandparents do this to children? What kind of grandparents lie to the grandkids and bribe my children? Children, I'll never stop fighting for you. And it's exhausting for me. It's draining for me. I've put my entire life on hold for you. It's time for you to do something back in return. If an ounce of you cares about your mother, like an ounce of you, reach out to me. Use your friend's phone to talk to me. Don't use that phone Samuel Baca is paying for. And stop believing everything you're hearing. You're only listening to one side of the story. All I want is for you to know the truth. They buy you all the designer clothes, they pay for your phone, buy you new cars, take you on fancy vacations, take you to Disney. How many times have you been to Disney? Take you overseas. They do all of this on the condition that you stay away from your mother. And then they fill you with hatred towards your mom. And you're going along with it, boys. But I can tell you're not happy. I can see that you're not happy. That part of something is missing. And that something is your mom. You have a void in your hearts. Nobody can replace your mother, boys. Nobody. Jalen Garcia cannot replace your mother. Virginia Schulte, Tukey cannot replace your mother. Stop listening to one side of the story. Have respect for your mother. If you reach out to me, you're going to know the truth. Call me. My text is 505-427-2057. Reach out to your mother. Stop living in denial. Stop filling your hearts with hatred. You don't know what I've been through. You've no idea what I've been through. Just because I don't have wealthy parents like Paul Brian Baca. How do you think Samuel Baca got to be a police chief? He didn't get there by being nice to people. He's evil. He's nothing but pure evil. And there's a place in hell for people like that. He's pure evil. Any person that turns you against your mother, boys, are pure evil. They're true narcissists. You've not made 1 ounce of an effort. You've never reached out to me. You've never texted me. You've never called me. You just want to believe one side of the story. And you want to fill your hearts with hate because that's what you've been programmed. How do you like if people bullied you in school? How would that make you feel? If there was bullies bullying you in school? So you allow your father to bully your mother? You allow Samuel Baca and Virginia Schulte to bully your mother? Because they have money? Because they're wealthy? Virginia Schulte is a fake. She is fake. She's not a good person. And Samuel Baca in Glenwood Hills is pure evil. And the narcissists that you live with, boys, filling your heart with hate towards your mom, It's time for you to reach out. Don't you want to know the truth? Show your mother you care. You don't know how long you've had your mom. Show your mother you care. Stop living in denial. Stop believing everything Samuel Baca, Virginia Schulte, and Samuel Baca, Virginia Schulte, and your father are telling you. They're filling your heart with hate. Loving people do not do that to kids. If Stephen Klump and Armond Carion did a good job, they would have had a guardian ad litem. They would have said, children should not be deprived of their mother. But they're terrible. They're horrible narcissists themselves. My heart has been ripped out. Like ripped out. I've had no support. Every time I went to court hearing, I went to my own. I had no support. 10 years. You think my heart has healed in 10 years? I gave birth to 3 sons that were stolen from me by the New Mexico Family Court. My youngest was 6. Caden was 7 and Connor was 9. They were stolen from me. I wasn't allowed to talk to my kids. I wasn't allowed to go to their school. I wasn't allowed to spend any time with my children because according to Stephen Klump and Armond Carion, I wasn't a good person. They underestimated me because I keep fighting. If I didn't care, I would never make videos. I would never write letters. But when I get nothing back in return, my heart has just been hardened over time. It's hardened. Because I've been going through this on my own. Another person would have given up. Some parents commit suicide. That's what Paul Brian Baca, Virginia Schulte, and Samuel Baca wanted. They wanted me to commit suicide. So then my children would never know the truth. They're filling my children with hatred towards their mom. They're lying to the teachers. They're lying to everybody that listened. And shame on all those people that I knew when I was married to my ex. Because not one of those people ever reached out. Never. Because they don't want to do what's right. They don't want to betray Samuel Baca and Virginia Schulte, Tukey. Paul Brian Baca is an evil narcissist. He's telling my children to hate their mom. He's encouraging my kids to hate their mother. My kids are scared to death to go against their grandparents and their father. The whole time their hearts have been filled with pure evil. My children won't talk to me because they're scared to death. They're scared that they're going to miss out on all this material stuff. Not one time have they ever reached out to me. Mother's Day comes and goes. Well, I gave birth to 3 boys and I spend Mother's Day on my own. I've had no support. Connor doesn't show me he cares. He's never reached out to me. Not one single time. He's 19 now. Last time Caden told me he hated me. You don't think that hurt me, Caden? That hurt. It hurt. But I know it's not coming from you. I know it's coming from what you've been told. I'm not mad at you. I know you're a beautiful child. And I know you've got a beautiful heart. And Samuel Baca, Virginia Schulte, Tukey, and Paul Brian Baca has done everything to damage your beautiful heart, boys. Colin, I remember how happy you used to be. I just want you to care. I want you to care. I love you, even if you don't love me, your mom. I love you. I want this parental alienation to stop. And I want to expose the New Mexico family court for what it is. They do such an injustice to their children. They just decide from the beginning whose side they're going to take. And it's usually the person with the most corrupt therapist or the most corrupt lawyer and the people with the most money. To hell with a loving relationship. Stephen Klump and Armond Carion never once saw me with my kids. There's no guardian ad litem. Teachers never met me. Anyway, I would be so elated if my children reached out to me. It would be like this heavy burden has been lifted. I'd finally get to enjoy Christmas again. I haven't enjoyed Christmas for the last 10 years. I got rid of the Christmas tree. I don't even celebrate Christmas anymore. My children are damaged. They don't know who to believe. If you know my sons, Connor, Caden and Colin, Baca, that live in Red Bloom Road, that went to Volcano High School. What was that elementary school? I don't know, I have to look it up. They have a loving mother that cares deeply. That their father and their grandparents has done everything they can to destroy my relationship with my kids. They've brainwashed my children to believe they don't have a mother. They don't show my children pictures of their mom. They don't encourage my children to reach out to me. They fill my children's hearts with hatred. The kids used to smile all the time. They used to be happy. Caden and Connor and Colin don't smile anymore. They're so confused. Anyway, just tell my children I love them with all my heart. And if you had a wonderful experience with Armond Carion, then good for you. But I don't want to hear about it because that's not my experience.